I was in operation theatre. Something was really unsettling. At that time, I just used to wonder, what has happened to me? Why? I have heard that most of the people in the last days of their life when asked, I knew I didn't want to have that regret. And that's when things changed for me. It was year 2006. I was in operation theatre. No, not undergoing a surgery, but I was performing one. Till that day, I had performed many surgeries, delivered many babies, seen many patients, and I used to like doing so. That gave me a sense of satisfaction. But that day was different. When I came out of the operation theatre, as if something just hit me. My mind was filled with so many questions. Is this what I want to do all of my life? Is this my purpose and calling in life? Have you ever had that feeling inside your tummy or heard that voice inside your heart that tells you that you are meant for something else? That strong feeling inside that is telling you and calling to you. It's not that those feelings or questions hadn't come to me before. They had. But that day it was so strong. And the answer to my questions was absolutely clear. No. And because of that answer, I'm standing here in front of you all today. Hello everyone. My name is Dr. Saloni Singh. I'm a life coach, an author, and a podcaster. Today I will be sharing my story with you all. A story of finding my true calling in life, quitting my job as a gynecologist, and gathering the courage to follow and pursue my passion and calling in life. In this journey, I've learned one important thing, that you don't need to hate your current situation in life in order to change. You just need to love something with all your heart and have the willingness to go for it, right? Now, becoming a doctor was not out of choice for me because I didn't have much choices. When I was born and brought up in a small town of Haryana, Jhajjar, there weren't many choices for kids. I was a bright kid at school and I loved studying. And my daughter hates it when I tell her how much I loved studying. I was a curious child. And I remember that my mother used to read Bhagavad Gita every morning and tell us stories about spirituality. So spirituality was always a part of my life. मुझे याद है हम आंगन में कई बार खुले आसमान के नीचे सोया करते थे. And I would look up to the moon and stars and wonder about the vastness of this universe. I would ask questions like, how vast is it? How infinite it is? And then I wonder, what is my role in this vast universe? At that time, the mainstream career choices were only two, doctor and engineer. And I hated physics. No offense to physics lovers here. My husband is one as well, but I don't like it. So I took up medical science. And everybody thought, because I was one of the topper in the class, that I would do really well. But things changed for me. Even though I got admission in MBBS with difficulty, it was such a struggle for me. When I started my MBBS, I just didn't know what happened to me because I didn't like it there. And I really struggled. I did manage to pass well, but I know that it was quite an effort and a huge struggle for me. At that time, I just used to wonder, what has happened to me? Why? But when I look back, now I realize it was not because it was tough. It was just because I didn't like the subjects at all. I didn't enjoy studying those. I remember I used to go to the library and read for hours. Things like on subjects, human mind, emotions, philosophy, spirituality. I loved psychology. Even my friends used to tell me that I am in the wrong profession because I used to love talking to people. I was really good with people. I was a people's person. I was a problem solver, very creative, a great listener. But I didn't know what to do with all of that. I did not understand any of this. So I kept going. I finished my MBBS, my post-graduation, and I became a gynecologist. Meanwhile, I married my best friend, and after marriage, my husband and I went to the UK for higher studies. And that's where I got a job as a gynecologist in NHS. And I got an opportunity to work with best doctors in the best hospitals, with the best facilities. Everything was cool. I had a beautiful family, an amazing husband, a lovely daughter, and everything looks fine. But you know what? Something was really unsettling. I knew that I wasn't at peace with myself. So coming back to that day when I came out of the operation theatre, I was driving back home. It was like an usual day. I was already pregnant with my second child. So I spent time with my family. I did what I used to do. And I pushed that thought at the back of my mind. Few days passed by. And then because of some complications in my pregnancy, I had to go on maternity leave a bit early. And that's when things changed for me. Because for the first time in my life, I got to take a pause and think about my life. What am I doing here? So I started pondering on those questions. Why am I not happy with my life? Why am I not loving what I'm doing? And I realized that gynae was not stimulating and challenging enough for me. It must be for many doctors, but it was just not right for me. I realized it then. And I know I have heard that most of the people in the last days of their life, when asked what is their biggest regret, they say that they wish they would have followed their heart. And I knew I didn't want to have that regret. So I sat and started researching about different career options. And that's when I heard about life coaching. I immediately applied for a taster event. And I went to that event. And you know what? By the end of the day, I knew my calling. Yes, I called my husband from the training hall and I was just jumping with joy. I told him that this was the most amazing day I had. I know this is exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, wow, it's so nostalgic. I can feel myself in that training hall right now. How happy I was that day. He was just listening, all my joy. So I asked him, what do you think? Should I apply for the course? And he said, if you think this is exactly what you are looking for, why not? Just go for it. And after that, there was no looking back. And I must add a little here that without my husband and my family's support, this couldn't have been possible for me. I know the courage and belief I have in myself, it was because of them. And I have no words really to share that gratitude. So I applied for the course and I started my life coaching journey. It wasn't easy at all, let me tell you. I had 2 daughters, so managing my family, my work, the commitments, my studies, everything, it was quite hard. But I kept on going. And for some people in my friends and family, it was really strange that I would quit my job, well-paid job as a doctor, and I would become what? A life coach? They even hadn't heard this word life coach as well. But I was clear that this is exactly what I want to do. So I kept going. Yeah. First 2-3 years of life coaching journey was all about working on myself. I had to come face to face with my challenges, my mind clutter, the emotional baggage I was holding, the limiting beliefs. I had to work on all of them. And I remember from a stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, busy doctor, I became a much happier, calmer and patient person and a better mom. Yes, my kids would tell that because my kids used to call me a life doctor. I remember that. So that was a beautiful journey. And I remember reading as many books. I hadn't read as many books in my 8 years of graduation and post-graduation that I read in those 2 years. So I completed my coaching certification with Life Coaching Academy, London, and my master in NLP with Richard Bandler. And then I met my first spiritual mentor, Dr. Robert Holden, with whom I did my happiness coaching certification and learned meditation. Then I quit my job. I resigned and I started working as a full-time coach. I was very excited, but the journey wasn't easy. Actually, it has just begun because I had no idea even how to start my coaching practice, how to find those people I wanted to change their life, and how do I meet them. So I kept facing all those challenges, but kept moving forward. And I learned a lot in this journey. After working few years as a coach and facilitator in the UK, I wanted to come back home to India. I really wanted to work with people here, as there were very few life coaches in India at that time, I knew. So we moved back to India in 2012. And since then, I have been working as a coach and trainer here. Friends, this journey has been exhilarating and nothing less than life-changing. I can tell you that. Because this is what I've realized, that no matter what you do, at the end of the day, what matters is your happiness. So always think, are you happy? Do you feel that you belong? Or do you feel lost and stuck? Because it really does matter. So if you wonder, was the journey worth it? Absolutely, 100%. I remember once a friend asked me, Saloni, are you as successful as a coach as you would have been as a gynecologist? I smiled and asked her, do you mean in terms of money and fame? Then no, maybe not. But successful? Hell yeah. I remember once my mentor, Robert Holden, said that ask yourself every day, if today is the last day of your life, would you be doing the work you're doing today? And trust me, I've asked myself that question many times. And the answer is yes, yes, and yes, every single time. Living my life every single day with love, joy, and presence. That's what success is for me. And I feel successful every day. So if you know what is your calling, go for it. Take that first step. Listen to your heart and your soul. Ask for help. Let go of inhibitions. And trust me, a path will appear. And there is no better feeling than that. And I would like to give this last message to anybody who is listening to me right now. Do not let society or anyone else define success for you. You choose what success means for you. Thank you very much.
अगर आप भी इस वीडियो के एंड तक पहुंच गए हैं तो मेरी तरह ही आप भी इंस्पायर जरूर हुए होंगे। आपको भी मोटिवेशन मिली होगी अपने सपनों को पूरा करने की। दोस्तों, सपने तो हम सभी देखते हैं, लेकिन हम में से कुछ ही लोग अपने सपनों को पूरा करने में सक्सेसफुल हो पाते हैं। मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूं कि जो भी इंसान अपने गोल्स को अचीव करने में सक्सेसफुल होता है, उन सभी में कुछ कॉमन स्किल्स होती हैं, जैसे कि अच्छी कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स जो कि स्पोकन इंग्लिश से आती हैं। और दोस्तों, हम सभी इस स्किल को मास्टर करके अपनी लाइफ में आगे बढ़ सकते हैं जोश स्किल्स ऐप के साथ। इस ऐप में हम 1 by 1 वोकैबुलरी के नए वर्ड्स, ग्रामर प्रैक्टिसेस, रीडिंग और राइटिंग प्रैक्टिसेस के साथ साथ अपने जैसे अन्य हजारों स्टूडेंट्स के साथ ऑनलाइन इंग्लिश में लाइव बात करके अपनी इंग्लिश को वर्ल्ड क्लास बना सकते हैं। आज ही अपनी सक्सेस की तरफ पहला कदम लें, भारत के नंबर 1 स्पोकन इंग्लिश ऐप जोश स्किल्स के साथ।